Mavericks in the court, yeah, we got that full grip. Driving through the lane, watch them do that quick flip. We got the teamwork, making all the nets pop. Hoops like a job, and we punch in that clock. Bounce past alley-oop, yeah, we set the trend. Crossing over defenders to the very end.
Yeah, you know what time it is. Let's talk about it.
Hey again. We back again. We back at the Dalton Sports Show. Money Mike.
We are.
I got a fill-in today for AD, the myth. I got Leon Vest. Leon gonna helping me out today, and we're just gonna jump right into it. Yesterday, we had a few games yesterday to talk about. Some good games last night. Dallas played one, and then we had Boston played. And then there's a marquee WNBA game tonight that I'm pretty sure everybody will be watching because it's on Amazon Prime. You got Caitlyn Clark playing against the New York Liberty, so it should be a good game.
We're going to get into that one. We'll get into that one, huh?
Yeah.
So Money Mike, I got some questions for you. So, since you're more the expert than I am, I'm just going to serve them up. I do the research. I'm going to get your takes on some of these things. We get a few things lined up today. So first of all, I want to talk about the Boston Celtics versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. And, last night the Celtics dominated without facing Donovan Mitchell. How much has his absence changed the Eastern Conference Finals outlook to you?
Well, I mean, Boston had the number one record in the NBA. Cleveland came in, won game 2 in Boston in the series, but it's just all of that. To me, it's just a matter of how much Boston is just going to get after it and lock in. Donovan Mitchell, they wasn't going to stop them from going on to the next round, in my opinion, and advancing to whoever the next team is between Indiana and New York. It doesn't matter. Boston is a superior team. I mean, they should end up in the NBA Finals, based off of what they've done this year. They've been there before. They probably, I would say they are the most experienced team in the Eastern Conference as far as going to the NBA Finals, having that veteran core. The destiny is the finals for them.
Sounds right to me. Now let's talk about Jason Tatum. Tatum's been through fire throughout the playoffs. What makes him such a difficult matchup for the opposing teams right now?
Jason Tatum is one of those, I call them like hybrid type players. They that player, that wing, got speed. They can get up and down. They can jump. They can shoot the outside. They can penetrate. They can get after it on defense. They can do everything. And Cleveland, especially by not having Donovan Mitchell, somebody that can make him work and get after like that, they don't have a chance. I mean, Jason Tatum is who he is. It's going to take a collective, 5 guys trapping him every time he comes to try to make somebody else beat you, to make him really work. But you got to kind of pick your poison when you're playing against Boston anyway, because they do have other players that can dominate if he kicks it out, if he sees a double team.
They sound pretty well-rounded.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Al Horford's impact, Al Horford had a huge game for the Celtics. Do you think his resurgence is a key factor for Boston's success?
Al Horford is important to the team, especially with Porzingis being out, because Porzingis is that unicorn that they have, but he's been injured. So by him not playing, it's important that Al Horford show up and get them what they need. And plus, when he's on, he can stretch the floor because he has a nice 3-point range shot. He can hit that if you leave him open. So that causes, to pull the other big man out and just makes things much easier for Tatum and the other players to clean up on the board. So, yeah, every piece is vital. Al Horford fits that category.
The Cavaliers' future. Despite the loss, the Cavs showed promise. What are your thoughts on their future, considering their young core?
They got a good young core of players, but the thing that's happening right now, they have to deal with Donovan Mitchell. I think he's going to be a free agent, or there's a contract coming up where he can opt in or opt out. So there's a bunch of pieces, and then they're talking about they don't know whether they're going to even re-sign the coach, whether they're going to bring him back. So they got a lot of changes going in there when you have a team like that that's so young and you constantly shuffling in coaches and changing players, it's hard for them to mold together to grow, like an Oklahoma Thunder's team, like a young Minnesota team. You know, they keep that core together and keep their coaching staff together. That helps everything round out. So it'll be interesting to see what pieces they decide to keep and what they decide to move out to make this continue what they've been doing. They had a good year, but injuries have also played a role for them because they got a couple of players out, as you know, besides Donovan Mitchell as well.
Now, as far as missing Garland's impact, Darius Garland struggled defensively for the Cavs. How much did his performance impact the outcome? What's your take?
I mean, I'll say this, just like I said about Donovan Mitchell. It would have to take a great game from him in order for that team to take Boston out the way that I see it. I mean, Boston was on a mission. They came home and handled their business. That's what they did. And they were going to seize that moment because that's what a veteran team does. That gives them a chance to rest before they go into the Eastern Conference Finals. So I don't really think what Garland would have did. He could have had the game could have been, you know, probably a little bit tighter or something, but I don't think, you know, he would have made a difference against Boston anyway. I mean, just Boston is just a superior team.
So you expect to see them in the playoffs. I mean, we're wrapping up our talk on them for right now. Do you think Boston's going to make it, huh?
I expect Boston is already waiting on the winner of the Indiana, New York, and then that winner goes to the NBA Finals to represent the Eastern Conference. And I expect Boston to be that team, but you know, sports we'll have to see. We'll have to see, you know, by the time that they ready to get to that point, play the next round, you got to see who finishes out. Sometimes injuries play a role, but as long as everything stays the way it is, there's no reason why Boston shouldn't be there.
Odds are in the favor. Well, now we're going to break away to the Dallas Mavericks and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Mavericks versus the Thunder. The Mavericks won a close battle with the Thunder. What surprised you most about this game?
I was really shocked watching that game. I had saw so many alley-oops by Dallas. Doncic was throwing lots of alley-oops. The way that they were spreading the floor and having other guys get involved, that really just made things much easier for Kyrie Irving and Doncic and them towards the end of the game, you know, to be able to do what they do, kind of like take over and don't carry so much of a load. But yeah, I was surprised the way. Well, I'm not going to say really surprised, but they opened my eyes up last night and had me sitting on the edge like, whoa, okay, you got this as a part of your arsenal too, where you got your bigs and everybody's running. And I think they kind of thought back to that last game that they lost, Game 4 in Dallas, where they was up and wound up losing it because the Thunder leads the league in the most comebacks within 10 points. You know, they're one of the top teams at covering that up and coming back and getting a victory. So, which they proved in Game 4, but Game 5, Dallas was in control. They was running. They had lots of players involved. The floor was wide open. Beautiful game by Dallas.
So Doncic, I mean, they're talking about him everywhere. So Luka Doncic's consistency, he continues to put up big numbers. What do you think makes him such a special scorer?
His size, his court vision. He can shoot from the outside. Once again, just like I was talking about Jason Tatum, but Doncic is actually bigger. I mean, he's just a big load to deal with. And he doesn't move fast, but when he's moving, he's seeing the court. And he's just a threat anytime he's touching the ball, no matter where he is on the floor. You know, he's just one of those type of players that he's got to draw that special attention to. You know, it's going to take more than one guy to deal with him.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were comparing him to Shaq yesterday, so yeah.
That was sure. Jokic. That was Jokic.
Jokic, my bad. I'm going backwards on that. Okay, see, tested. I tested you. Remember yesterday's podcast. A. You get an A.
Okay.
So, as far as the young Thunder talent, the young Thunder players showed flashes of brilliance. Who on the Thunder impressed you the most?
The Thunder's got several players on there. I mean,
and them young guys.
The several young players, besides Chet Holmgren, they got the Williams players, they got Dort. I mean, they just got, and then you got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, he was the MVP runner-up. A lot of people felt as though that he should have won. That was Shaq's big beef, that when he was talking to Jokic, that, he told him that, he didn't deserve it. He felt like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should have won it. And normally, if the team, whoever has the best record, and they have a player that's up there in that tier, normally the MVP is going to go to the team with the best record. I think they had the better record, in the Western Conference, but the guy is still a talent. I mean, he's impressive. Their whole team is impressive. I mean, they got players that even come off the bench and get the job done. So that's another example when we was talking about young teams maturing and keeping the core together. They had the coaches for a while. Over the years, they was at the bottom, so they was always getting these number one picks, getting all of these top picks, and you keep them together, and this is what you get. You get a chance to grow. This is what you get. The future's very bright for them.
So that's my last question on them. Mavericks defense. The Mavericks defense stepped up in the clutch. What adjustments did they make defensively to secure the win?
Well, I was listening to when Jason Kidd was talking. One of the things that I picked up on when he was talking about was getting the loose rebounds, getting the loose ball rebounds. A lot of, they were stopping the Thunder from scoring, but the Thunder would get the rebound and get those second chance points. So he felt as though at looking at tape and looking at that was the difference. And they was doing that in the first half of yesterday. In the game, they was with that lead. They was able to fend off, and he was saying, you can see, that's the difference. And I noticed that Oklahoma was not getting a bunch of those second chance points or whatever. I mean, Dallas, their big guys is working. They rebound and they getting the job done.
So let's talk about the series outlook and predictions. Couple questions here. Eastern Conference prediction, with Celtics advancing, how do you see Eastern Conference Finals playing out?
I'm expecting New York to win. I don't know if they're going to win it. The next game is in Indiana, game 6, or they would come home for game 7, but they get 2 cracks at it. So I expect for it to be New York and Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then the Western Conference Finals, I'm looking at Dallas and Denver in the Western Conference Finals.
That kind of played into my next question. So
I know I kind of jumped it.
Okay, no, that's okay. That's okay.
Jumped it, but my mind frame was already there. That's why I was going.
You might as well take it. You might as well bring it, man. That's what I wanted to find out. You're using that ESP on me. Okay, so we're gonna go to
stop with the Zen. I'm gonna stop with the Zen.
Stop with the Zen, man. You're reading my mind's eye. Damn it. Anyways, general playoff discussion.
Yeah.
Okay. Biggest playoff surprises. What are your biggest takeaways from NBA playoffs so far? Are there any storylines that have surprised you that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, I mean, probably the biggest storyline for me would be Ant-Man in Minnesota. I mean, he was already having it, you would see, I didn't watch all of his games, but he would pretty much have these games or these highlights where you was like, oh, so to be able to sit up here and watch him and to see the talent that he is, what he's becoming, because he's still growing as a player, but to see his full arsenal, the way he plays, get after it on defense, scoring, rebounding. I mean, that has been very impressive in Iowa. He's brought me to the TV, makes me want to make sure I don't miss his games and things like that. I mean, he's just one of those special type of talents. And to me, he has been the biggest story. And then, on the East, I'm going to go with Jalen Brunson, the way that he has put the Knicks on his back and the way that this guy just continues to just dominate, The myth doesn't agree with me, but
He was some people were commenting, they were like testing him, like, hey man,
yeah,
don't talk about ball no more. You don't know what you're talking about. It's some of the
yeah.
comments.
He has his reasons. We talked about it on the last podcast, but I'm gonna still give him his credit. This dude has been balling out.
Yeah. The myth knows what's up. So, that's why he's a myth. It's a myth that he knows what's up, or does he know what's up? Anyways. Now we're going to talk about rising stars. Which young players have impressed you throughout the playoffs? I think you kind of covered that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to coaching adjustment. Which coaching adjustments have you found most impressive during the playoffs?
I would probably say I was really impressed with. He made an adjustment yesterday. The Oklahoma coach, he switched the lineup, but I just been kind of watching him every game, just the way his style is, his demeanor, and the way that he has his team. Dallas is more of a veteran team. So, that's when a team gets in the playoffs and they start getting deep in there, they got to learn how to win. But the way that this guy coaches them, I've been really impressed with him, his demeanor and everything. And yeah, I'm not going to jump on him for the move that he did yesterday. There's probably people go, oh, that's probably why they lost, But Josh Giddey hasn't been giving them anything. So he's like, I got to do something. We at home, maybe I can supercharge. You can't knock a coach. You're good if it turns out right, and you're bad if it don't. But I'm going to say, it was worth it. That's somebody that showing his team, I'm going to do what we can in order to get the job done. But, yeah, I'm impressed with him. I would say more than the other coaches. He's just somebody that just everything about him is just impressive.
Well, you're paying attention to the coaches. Both you and Aaron have coached. So, coaching is coaching. You start paying attention to coaches more once you've been a coach. Would you agree with that?
You can. It's just being a student of the game and just watching and seeing what kind of moves people make and things they do. I think Jason Kidd is doing a great job. It's how impressive. Just think, the Los Angeles Lakers had a chance to have him as their coach when he was a part of their coaching staff and when they was looking for a coach. They let him, they didn't get it.
Yeah.
It's like now this guy is leading the Dallas Mavericks and he's doing a great job with them. And look what he's doing with Kyrie Irving. He's got this somebody, Kyrie respects him, both playing the same position and being guards. And then, Jason Kidd's a Hall of Famer. I think he's doing a great job, but, Lakers lost out on that chance. They went with somebody that had no NBA coaching experience when they hired Darvin Ham. And then, why not take Jason Kidd? But, who knows? Who knows what everything was behind? But he's doing a great job, though.
So as far as the impact of injuries, how much of injuries played a role in these playoffs? Like, has it kept one team from advancing over another, like held anybody back or moved the guy that looked like he was going to get there? Team,
I would say for I know an injury that I know that's really impacted him, and we'll find out more tonight, is Mike Conley not playing. He has the sore Achilles. He didn't get to play in game 5 in Denver. So that's a blow to them. That's their floor general. You need that. He's a solid veteran, been in a lot of playoff games, been deep into the playoffs. So that was a really big blow to them. But injuries are a part of the game, but when a player just got to miss it. But like even Doncic is hurt, but some players can muscle through it. Some players are good, can do that. But then it's going to depend on what type of injury they have as well. Like Karl Anthony Towns, he's injured, but a bunch of players. But then in the East, Donovan Mitchell didn't get to play. He's missed the last 2 games, and could they have got 1 game out of the 2 that they lost? Who knows? But it's moving on. Injuries is always going to play a vital role. It depends on which player, I guess. What key player is injured?
Well, those are some great takes on that, man. I mean, this is people get a lot of information out of this. Now let's switch up to our final segment here, and we'll talk about the amazing Caitlyn, the most she's getting all eyes on Caitlyn. I mean, that should be the name of the segment.
Hey.
So tonight, Caitlyn's her team, they're going to go up against New York. How do you see that game going on? The New York Liberty, against the Heat.
So you got not the Heat.
No, why'd I call it the Heat? I'm sorry.
What?
I'm drinking.
You trying to do to us, man?
I'm trying to mess us up, man.
So you got the Indiana Fever and the New York Liberty.
Fever. That's right. That made I hear fever. I get in heat when I hear the fever. Go on now.
Woo.
Woo. Okay. Straighten me out. See, that's why I make the videos. I don't talk. But anyways, you go ahead now.
No, but I expect for New York to win that game. New York's a veteran team. Breanna Stewart. They got Jones. They got Sabrina. I'm pretty sure a bunch of people will be tuning in to watch that because Sabrina versus Caitlyn. And it's on Prime Video. Look at that. Is that the Caitlyn effect?
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me.
Last year, all you heard was nobody watches WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody watches WNBA, even when you have a national news story of, Brittany Griner in jail in Russia.
Yeah.
Still didn't bring any more eyeballs to the WNBA.
Right.
And a lot of women's sports. So ultimately, what does it say? You need some of that special player to bring it to any sport. Be it boxing has died at times when they didn't have a great, exciting champion. You know what I mean? Like different sports have gone in and out of favor with viewers,
Right.
So this is the first time in the history of the WNBA. And you sound pretty excited about it to me. I mean,
I'll be watching. That game comes on early too. I think it's around 4:00 our time, West Coast. Yeah, but I definitely want to see it. I want to see what Caitlyn. Caitlyn, she's gonna get a different dose every city she go to. Whatever guards she's playing against, they gonna bring it. They coming after her team. So the other players on her team, they gotta. It'd be interesting to see. Just watch them grow and take their lumps. That's what happens when you got a target. When you come in, but I'm looking forward to see how they go against each other because Sabrina can light it up too. So it'll be interesting to see how they play against each other.
Any predictions for that game? I mean, we were talking earlier, like Caitlyn may well be the strongest player on her team, number one draft pick, and the rest of the team may not be as balanced out as her level. Or the team is learning to play together. It's going to take a while to develop before, what do you think?
It's just thinking that star power. I mean, yeah, when you get a player like that, then it's, you got to go through the growing pains, just like we was talking about with the NBA teams. Yeah, they get a number one pick, but that team still finished that, Oklahoma, I can remember them getting top picks, but still finishing towards the bottom. It takes time. You're not going to just come in and just dominate and put your team on the back. And look at in San Antonio, they got the 7+ footer over there, and this guy is just like a freak of nature, but they still didn't make the playoffs. They still was toward the bottom, but they're getting another top pick again. So, to add to Victor, but yeah, that's what Caitlyn has to deal with as well,
Yeah, she's got a lot of people that want to get some clout, maybe take her out. At the same time, they're going to be like, well, maybe not take her all the way out because I just got, private airplanes taking me somewhere. I just get upgraded first class. Maybe don't beat the queen. You know what I mean? Like maybe don't go too hard on her. Give her a sprained ankle. Don't tear her Achilles. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you get a target on your back when you're at that level.
Right. Yeah. She's built for it. She's trains hard. Trains with Steph Curry. I mean, what his regimen is like. Anybody that's getting an opportunity to train with him, you get that. How does he get better as the season go on? Whatever it is, his training sessions are about or whatever. So it takes time. You got to get your body strong. She's playing in a higher league, the top tier league, and it takes adjustments. it takes adjustments. You know, you're gonna have your good games, you're gonna have your bad games, but it's just gonna take those adjustments over a full season. And then the thing is once you play that first season, and it's all right, I know what I need to do to be better at coming, you know, during that off season coming into the next one though.
Yeah, this is like you get all the glory, all the money, all the sponsors. You haven't played game one, and now this is where, you know, the tires hit the road, and you know things are rolling.
Right.
And it's like, welcome to the game. Other girls like, oh, I never got that. Huh? Oh, you think you're all that? You know, man. You know these women are probably feisty over her coming their way.
Yeah, I bet you. I mean, I'm pretty sure they appreciate what she's doing as well because of how everything, you know, the chartered flights and more people in attendance. You know, we all would want more players in it, more not players, but more fans in the stands. You know, you don't want to be like the Oakland A's games, right?
Yeah.
They got 2,000 people in the stadium,
right?
Watching a Major League Baseball game. I mean,
right.
Come on.
It's the duality of thank you, but now I'm going to take you out because I'm competitive. I can't help myself. It's in my nature.
I mean, you still got
the frog and the scorpion. Thanks for the ride across the river, but now I got to sting you because I'm a scorpion. I can't help myself.
Yeah.
Any other takes on anything else, Mike?
That's good. I mean, I look forward to the games tonight, and you know, I appreciate you being here and stuff. I appreciate you filling in for the Mitt. You know.
Okay. Well, we're going to roll out with you and him and end our little show.
Mike's in the court, yeah, we got that full grip. Driving through the lane, watch them do that quick flip. We got the teamwork, making all the nets pop. Hoops like a job, and we punch in that clock. Bounce past alley-oop, yeah, we set the trend. Crossing over defenders to the very end.
Yeah.